Hello, I'm going to be talking to you today about the importance of digital citizenship and the effects that it has on your school, especially this day and age. Digital citizenship just kind of refers to whenever you're using the internet, using a device, posting on social media, Googling, blogging, any type of activity when you're using reception, Wi-Fi. So there are good and bad digital citizenships. So good, it helps all of us communicate. It helps students and teachers communicate through systems like Class Dojo, other social medias, and students can use relationships through other digital tools like TikTok and Twitter, ways to communicate and build friendships and communities. And bad examples are cyberbullying, social media posts. We had an incident at our school last year where we allowed students to always have devices, and because of a cyberbullying incident on social media, we became a device-free school. And digital cheating can happen, texting answers back and forth, and other ways. Students have to know about the internet and the knowledge have to have that knowledge of safety whenever they go online. So how do you teach digital citizenship? Well, one, you need to have empathy for students. You need to have online communication with them, and you need to make sure they understand how online communication works, like professionalism in emails, and whenever you post, you're using correct grammar and good spelling, because everything can be traced back to you. How the internet works, you need to kind of explain to them, like, behind the scenes with IT and coding, and how there's careers for that, and people are working behind the scenes to keep it safe all the time for us, and we don't need to take it for granted. And understand user data, such as like viruses that you can click into, cookies. Practice digital literacy. Understand that there are scams out there. Don't be clicking on every advertisement, and there's consequences for doing those things and just playing around and clicking on everything. Help the students acknowledge that there is a digital divide. Not everybody in the world has access to the internet, and be mindful of that whenever they are practicing and trying to advance. So practice digital wellness. We want the students to always be healthy and not just sitting at a screen all day. So they need to understand the severity of sitting in front of a screen all day, and that they understand that they need to have exercise rather than just have all the screen time. And that is more prevalent now that we're at home all the time due to COVID. Secure digital devices and passwords. Always make sure that they're not making their passcodes so easy to get into. I've had instances in my school, in elementary school, students getting in and destroying personal profiles for school. And it happens, and I've seen it happen on a larger scale in our school district. We had a 16-year-old. We are 100% virtual, hack into the system of our school for K-12 and completely shut it down for 2 or 3 days. And the security for the K-12 platform was voted against and taken back by the district, and we're no longer using that platform anymore. So it's very important, and students need to understand this. Anybody can be affected. So you need to make sure that students have the understanding of common sense internet education, and it's required by law that students know this and that you teach it to them. So I'm going to go down to the E-rate federal program through which schools and libraries can apply for funds to purchase hardware and internet access. So if your school doesn't have this, you need to connect with the telecommunications and understand for their students' learning opportunities. And we are a Common Sense district. Here is the Miami County School Common Sense Certified School Checklist. So we plan, prepare, implement, apply, and celebrate. And we plan by teaching students those common sense knowledges of the internet, internet etiquette, and how everything can be traced back to them, essentially. Prepare, make everyone at your school aware of this education for the internet of being not safe. Make sure that the culture is backed by it, and that we're not going to stand for anything, any bad digital citizenship. We're against it, Then implement, create a parent outreach program, get involved with the PTA, because they'll be behind you 100%. They'll totally understand, and that's kind of how we have it at our school set up, integrated. So also apply, make sure that your school has all the necessary documentation to be certified by the district as a common sense school certified. So, and then also celebrate by showing the credentials that you have obtained, and that all your students know about it, and post it all over school and social media, and maybe have a day and dress up celebrating its success. So here are some more reasons why it's even more important to teach digital citizenship this year. It informs the students on the informational literacy and cyberbullying prevention. Like, you never want that to happen. It's just furthermore here with COVID. You have instances every day where people may be abusing Zoom chat and so forth. And so other social media sites, reports happen all the time. Students need to be aware of online safety and responsibility when they're online. That their cameras are on all the time during class, all the time when they're at home. They need to be aware of their actions at all times. Health and emotional wellness in the digital world, I just went over that, but screen time and the ability to understand when enough is enough, and to take those breaks. So here are the 6 main themes of digital citizenship curriculum that you should be teaching your students. Media balance and well-being, privacy and security, your digital footprint identity, knowing all the traffic that you're taking, and understanding and keeping track of all your passwords, usernames, and so forth. Relationship and communication. Understand that this is not the only form of communication that the kids should be using, and understand how you should be communicating in other ways as well, and this is just not how it's going to be all the time. So as long as they understand that, cyberbullying, digital drama, and hate speech, make sure they know all about those things. And these are things that we kind of already talked about, but to furthermore that, to go over and make sure they really understand it. And obviously the types of news that they maybe see online, and sources that may not be true, such as like Wikipedia, how make them know how anything could be edited. So be ready. K-12 administrators must take the necessary actions for teachers and students to be aware of safety concerns, and then empower students with strategies for being good digital citizenships. And this is from a director who really encourages this program. Remind students to be mindful of what information and opinions they make public. Every single thought seems to be published nowadays, and make sure those reflect them positively, and remind them of that. Encourage students to help step away from their technology, exercise, have hobbies. Don't be watching TV all the time. Make them know and encourage them and motivate them to do other things. Be accountable. Accountability is the most important way to encourage digital accountability by creating a student digital use guide for online use that teaches students how to properly and safely use the internet. And you can get that guide and teach them how to be accountable. Demonstrate and model good digital citizenship to promote a culture of positive online use. And yes, be a culture of using technology. You always want to be with the trends and using all the technologies that's out there to further the success for your students and for your school. Standard correlation. This assignment really correlated well, teaching us as student leaders the reality and great importance of digital citizenship. Recently, our world has changed, and the whole world now relies very heavily on technology. It is even more vital than ever that we produce and educate our staff and students and keep our communities protected. This is relevant. The assignment was relevant to my learning because I am teaching 100% digital right now, and I have not had many online conduct issues in class. But however, this always reminds me to do a brief segment of my students before class, reminding all to be good digital citizenship. So just having that introduction and showing them that, hey, think about what you say and what you're posting at all times when you're online, and just help them be mindful of that, especially in the time that we're in with COVID. In reflection, as I read through all of the sources, I found myself feeling very fortunate that I have not knowingly had instances of bad digital citizenship that happened in my school. So this assignment has motivated me to ensure that all staff members and students need to be educated on digital citizenship when I am at the helms of my own school. And here are my references. Thank you very much.